Hey guys, it's Jennifer. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's day 3 of the Sorcery Salon. And so we've had day 2. We've had day 1 talking about sovereignty. Sovereignty. And if you don't know what that is, imagine that you are the center of your universe. You're just the center of your universe. And people are like, hey, Jennifer, would you like to do this thing? Would you like to do that thing? I think you'd be great at it. I think it'd be fun for you. People are trying to convince you to do the things that would be fun for you. Oh my goodness. And maybe because you're now sovereign in your body, which we talked about on day 1, and you're sovereign in your relationships, then today the invitation is to begin to be sovereign in your finances. Now, you might not know this about me, but back in the day, I was responsible for millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of budgets for buildings, gorgeous buildings, and maybe not so gorgeous buildings in the local sort of like Vancouver area. And so I was responsible for, millions of dollars worth of budgets. And so for me, talking about wealth and finance and investments and real estate is very exciting. And so you becoming sovereign in your financial endeavors and starting to build wealth is really exciting for me. I super love it. So we're not just talking about your body and your energy. We're not just talking about like waving hands over bodies and being sorceresses. My deal today is talking to you about becoming sovereign in your finances and having a profitability plan, having a clear decision-making process for wealth creation, for multiple income streams, and to get paid more for the work that you're already doing. And then also maybe start to like, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that. There's lots of money out there, you guys, lots and lots of money out there. And so a portion of it is designed to come to you so that you can have an experience here on earth that is beyond feast and famine. And I see this over and over with my clients. I've had this happen in my life over and over, places and spaces where I had to transcend so that my finances could be sovereign. And so sometimes the choices that you make 6 months ago will affect your finances right now. But the cool thing is that the choices that you make right now can affect your finances 6 months from now. And so maybe there's never an instantaneous change in your finances, unless maybe you're a manifester, and then we could possibly create an instantaneous change. But what I would like to do with you long term is to talk about the long game of wealth creation, the long game of income streams, the long game of having a profitability plan. And that's what becoming financially sovereign is. And so it kind of makes me think, when I was in India, I went to this incredible palace in a place called Orcha. And so this palace took 22 years to build. 22 years to build. And so on the day that it was complete, it was given away to another Maharaja as like a political favor. And nobody ever lived there. And so think about it, like your financial self, your wealth creation process, what if it took 22 years for the palace known as your wealth creation to be built? Would you still be willing to put one step ahead of another? Up, go, keep going. And I would say that that's one of the things that's really, really necessary today more than ever, is to make a commitment to yourself that you are financially sovereign, and then start to make choices based on what financial sovereignty means to you. Financial freedom means to you. However, this is what people come to me for, is they are freaked out. Money finances scare them, even if they're obviously making more than enough money to take care of themselves, more than enough money to put some away for the future, more than enough money that, you know, like, it's fine. It's just not fantastic. And I remember saying that, you know, like, is it fine or is it 5-star? I always say that. So I want to push you over into the 5-star finances where, you know, it's really normal for you to take great vacations. It's really normal for you to not really carry that much of a balance on your credit cards. Really normal for you to not really have that much of a balance on, you know, your line of credits, unless that's something that you've taken the money out specifically to go and buy another asset that's making really great money. There's lots of money out there. And this is what I want to leave you with today. There is lots of money. People are looking for your services. They're absolutely looking for them. And when we start to go into the brass tacks of your finances, what I find, and this is like, I treat you like a corporation. So the corporation, so just, you know, Jennifer Cramer Lewis Inc. is a corporation. And so she has short-term expenses, she has long-term expenses, she has like expenses like once every 5 years, once every 10 years, like replacing vehicles and stuff like that. And a lot of people haven't been taught how to create a profitability plan for their life, create a profitability plan for the business known as you. And so it can be scary. You may have made really shitty decisions and now you don't necessarily trust yourself with money. You don't trust yourself with wealth. And, you know, a lot of people are the type of people that they're like, oh, if I win the lottery, I'm going to give it here, and I'm going to give it here, and I'm going to give it here, and I'm going to give it here. Well, I would love to say that there is money that's specifically coded to you. And so if you don't receive it and keep it, then it just doesn't go anywhere. So imagine, like, there's a specific wealth, a specific financial encoding that is yours. Does that make sense? Because it makes sense to me. Like, there's a throat frequency that's specifically yours, and we'll talk about that later in this event, but there's a throat frequency that's specifically yours, whether you have a defined throat or an undefined throat, and there's a wealth frequency that's specifically yours. And so if you don't get it, if you're not out there like picking those berries, then those berries just go dead on the vine, and maybe maybe somebody will come and get them, but that wealth frequency that's specifically yours does not get harvested by people who are not you. So if you are not financially sovereign, these are the things that happen. You feel confused. You're like, I don't really have an internal compass. So maybe you don't have an internal compass with wealth accumulation in mind. And the reason why I want you to have wealth and not just like be rich is that when people like you have money, you get a seat at different tables. And so you can start to change the conversation at those tables. So think about it. Like, you know, the people that fly into that World Economic Forum, what are they talking about? And does it actually impact your day-to-day life? And I'm saying, yes, it does. It absolutely does. And so until you start to have a place at those tables where those people are, or even like the para people, the friends of those people, then the conversation changes. Even, you know, we were talking about when your body is sovereign, you walk into a room and you format the room. People are like, who is that? Who's that? And they want to have a conversation with you. And so imagine the types of conversations that you would like to have with these world leaders or friends of these world leaders. Like maybe like me, you love horses and you want to go to the Kentucky Derby. Well, the people who go to the Kentucky Derby are wealthy. They are wealthy. And so what would it be like for you to be sort of a fly on the wall, paying attention to what these people are paying attention to, And then also formatting the room, like changing the conversation to things that you actually want to talk about and what the world should be talking about. You know, I was talking about how where I live in Canada, there are parts of Canada that are basically like a third world country. You know, there are babies being born in the north of Canada that are dying of things that just don't even make sense. They just absolutely don't make sense. You know, like if there's a birthing center, wouldn't it be filled with all of the things that you need to stop babies from dying? That would be something that needs to happen. So that's something that needs to happen in Canada as far as I'm concerned. So what are these conversations that you would start to have if you had the wealth that put you in the rooms with the people? And so maybe that's a little overwhelming. Maybe you're like, Jennifer, I just want to solve my basic crisis right now. Well, if you are overwhelmed with money and finances, one of the things that I highly recommend is for you to just figure out like an opulent budget for you. Now that might seem like an oxymoron, like what is an opulent budget? Is there such thing as an opulent budget? Well, one of the things that I do every single year is I look at, okay, well, what did I spend money on for myself? What did I invest in for myself? You know, like what were the sort of monthly expenses? What were the quarterly expenses? You know, how much money do I need to be me? And then I just divide that by 52. Or maybe even I divide it by 50 because I don't want to work every single week. Or maybe I divide it by 3 weeks of the month because maybe I want to take a whole week off of the month. Or maybe I divide it by, 3 weeks of the month and then take all of August off. Like, think about it for yourself. Like, if you played Tetris with the money that you need to be you at an opulent level, like, what is the amount of money that you need to generate? What is the money that you need to generate? Because I don't like saying making money. It's like you can attract money, you can generate money, you can genie blink money into your world. People can just give you money. You know, you can pick money up off the sidewalk. Like, I have so many money stories. Oh my goodness. Like, I used to have this bank machine. I lived on this island called Vancouver Island, which is off of the coast of British Columbia, Canada. And so there was like this gas station in this place called Nanoose Bay. And so everybody went there for cheap gas because it was like the best gas station for inexpensive fuel for your car. And so, I would just go get some cash money because in the next town over, we used to go shopping at the mall. And I will tell you, multiple times I went to the bank machine at that gas station multiple times, and there was money sitting in the tray. So what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to be like, oh, give it to the gas station attendant? Like, here's this money that I found in the machine. So of course I would give it back if the machine was like taking my picture and the police or the bank came. But it never happened, you guys. Like, the bank machine just gave me money. And so I was like, okay, I'll take that money. And so that was the universe saying, hey, go have a little shopping spree on me. And so thinking about that for yourself, like, how often do you let serendipity show up in your finances? Because that is one way, but you also have to be freaking clear, you guys. You have to be so clear on the amount of money that needs to come into your world every week for you to have an opulent life. And why do I advocate for an opulent life? Because some people are very ascetic. They're like, well, I don't need makeup, I don't need my hair done, I don't need fashion, I don't need to get my toes done. Well, okay, but maybe you would like to receive that money so that you can have organic food, so that you can have beautiful trips away, so that you can learn more cool things to bring into your world. What if it's never ever a struggle when you have an opulent amount of money? So some of the questions that people are asking at this point are, how do I make more money? And there's usually a ton of different ways right in your human design chart how you make more money. And so it might be surprising to you. I know for me, it was very, very surprising that I'm not here to be serious. I'm just not here to be serious. And I have been fired for not being serious enough. So I remember I was working for a financial planner's office, and the work that I did was fun. I liked it. And the person that I worked with was so funny. Oh my God, she made me laugh so much. And so then I'm laughing, and I got fired for laughing, you guys. So I know that I wasn't supposed to be in that place and space, but what I did do while I was there was get some very specific information about how wealthy people handle their finances. And so, did I get the download? Yes. Yes, I absolutely did. And then the universe ejected me out of that office because there's no way that I needed to work with those people long term. So there was some short-term information that I got there. And what it was that there are people who absolutely always have the money that they need to have their life at an opulent level. And these aren't trust fund babies. These are just people who know what it takes. They also know where the financial flows are coming from. They're building way more than one financial influx into their life. And they do it based on what they're good at. And I would say for me, I mean, obviously you're thinking, wow, Jennifer, blah, blah, blah. All you do is show up on camera. I did a post last night about, I'm an introvert. Actually, if I have to schedule my seeing people time. Otherwise, I just don't choose it. I just don't choose it. Like, my dance is my seeing people time. It's going out, getting energized by being around other people. But I'm very, very introverted. And so I have to make sure that my time with clients is correct. I have to make sure that the amount of time that I'm spending on camera, even on Zoom meetings, like, I have to be very, very careful that that aspect of my life, of my business, isn't overdone. Otherwise, I just can't do it. I cannot do it. And so I do advocate always, always, always that your financial generating, your wealth generating activities are clear for you. And there's so much information in your human design chart, so much information in your astrology. We look at your Jupiters, we look at your Mars, we look at your Saturn, we look at your moons. We also look at the houses, the astrological houses. So I have a lot of third house, and that's communicating, that's showing up on camera, that's a throat gate. So that's something that is very, very important for my business, that I show up, I have conversations with you. And if you want to work with me, great. After the conversation, wonderful. But I'm not the type of person who is for strangers. I'm just not. You have to actually stalk me. You have to watch my stuff and, figure it out for yourself. Do I want to work with Jennifer? Do I want to find out about what working with Jennifer is like? That has to come from you. I'm not the type of person that people just find on the internet and buy a program from. And I know that. And that's really, really important, because in the past, I have done launches, I've done all of the mainstream business type of things, and it didn't work the way some people's businesses work. And there are people, absolutely, and it might be you, who can put a product on the internet and, do the normal launch funnel with the webinar, and have 1,000 people buy it. And you're like, great, that's awesome. And, that's never, ever been me. So I have to be very, very careful as an introvert to take care of my energy type, which is introverted. It's just introverted, and that's okay. It's just okay. And I don't even worry about that, you guys. I don't even worry about it anymore. So what I would love for you is for you to not burn yourself out in the pursuit of money, because the receiving of money is a completely different frequency. And so you can wake up in the morning, you can say, wow, I wonder what I can receive today. I wonder what money would like to find its way to me today. I wonder what wealth would like to find its way to me today. And wealth is such an interesting topic. I remember in 2016, I created a course called Wealth Blueprint. And the participants in that course, I think I had 20 or 21 participants in that course at that time. And so those people generated, 21 people generated over $1 million in the time that we were working together. Isn't that so crazy? And I think it was a 6-week course, generated over $1 million in 6 weeks. And I can't even freaking believe it. And at that time, like, I really did have to get pushed. I was being pushed sort of psychically, and there was like messages coming in from people like, Jennifer, help me with this. And I know that because of my history of working in financial services, in banking, investments, real estate, finance, mortgages, that my acumen with money was different. And it was like a different point of view that people just needed to hear from me. And so, yeah, over $1 million, 21 people. It was just so crazy and so great and so like humbling that that information could come through me. Super, super grateful for that. So what do you need to do to be financially sovereign? You need to develop a profitability plan. And your profitability plan needs to account for your monthly expenses. It needs to account for your quarterly expenses, your yearly expenses, and then also things that you do every 3 to 5 years, things that you would do every 5 to 10 years. I'm talking like replacing vehicles. I'm talking about like work on your house. Like whatever, maybe work on your looks, like maybe you get your hair done every other month. Maybe you get a manicure and a pedicure every month, but not every week. So this opulence, I want opulence to be in every single thing that you do. Because if you invite opulence, it comes to the party. So question for you today is, what is my opulent way of living and what is included in my opulent way of living? And just like write it all out. Feel free to DM me if you have any questions. This is day three of Sorcery Salon. Tomorrow we're going live with sorcery and bodies. Sorcery and bodies, and some magic tricks that I have for bodies. So please join me tomorrow at 2:22 Pacific. Thanks so much for showing up today. Mwah! Super love you guys. Bye.